Hello everyone, this is CS Divesh called Practicing Company Secretary from Delhi. I welcome all of you on our YouTube channel. So recently we have created a video. In that video, we have discussed about the ICSI CPE credit hours, that how many credit hours we require mandatorily in a year, what is unstructured program, what is structured credit hours. So we have received so many questions from the professionals that how we can get exemptions from the credit hours and who are eligible to take the exemptions from the credit hours. So in this video, we will specifically discuss about the exemptions and how to avail those exemptions. So whenever we talk about the exemptions from the credit hours, there is a one question which came to us every time. The question is that if a member obtains the membership during the year, whether such member needs to obtain credit hour for that financial year. For an example, if you got your membership between April to March, then for that period of April to March, whether you required any credit hours or any proportionate credit hours, the answer is that in such situation, member is exempted for the mandatory credit hours for that financial year. For an example, you receive your membership in January 2022. Then you don't require to obtain the credit hours, mandatory credit hours till 31st March 2022. These guidelines will applicable on you from 1st April 2022 onwards. So this is a foremost question. If you recently received the membership, if you have received the membership during that financial year only, so for that specific financial year, you will be exempted from the credit hour guidelines. Then what are the other guidelines for the exemptions? So I'm just sharing my screen to show you the exemption guidelines also. So see, one by one, we will discuss about the exemption guidelines. The requirement of CP credit hours shall not apply to point number 1. If a member who has attained 60 years, age of 60 years during a particular year, and who is neither in employment relating to CS profession nor holding CS practicing COP number, then he is exempted. Means if a person obtained the age 60 years and more than 60 years, and such person is not holding any COP or not in employment as CS, then such person is exempted from the mandatory credit hours. But even a person who has attained the age of 60 years, but whether he is holding a COP or he is in employment, then he also required to obtain the mandatory CPE hours. Next, a member for the year during which he attained the membership, we have already discussed this point. A member of the parliament, a member of the legislative assembly and legislative council, member of judiciary, member of any of the central civil services, member of any of the state civil services, employee of regulatory bodies, government organization and statutory bodies, member of armed force and parliamentary force, a member or class of member whom the professional development committee of the council grant full or partial exemption on the case-to-case basis, either by granting or general exemption on account of fact and circumstance of the following situation: maternity or paternity leave, accidental or medical emergency, partial or total disablement, such as other cases as are deemed appropriate by the professional development committee of the council. So on the basis of these grounds like maternity, paternity leave, accident, medical grounds, disablement, on these grounds, the committee of the institute, the professional development committee of the institute can give you the full and the partial exemptions from the same. Provided that the member falling any above these categories shall submit a declaration along with the document evidence at the time of renewal of the membership. So these are the categories which we are discussed. These persons are exempted from the attainment of the mandatory CP credit hours, which is 24 a financial year. So if you are following any of these criteria, then you are exempted from the mandatory credit hours obtainment. Now the question arises, for taking the exemptions from the credit hours, how a member can apply for and to whom such member have to send the mail for the same. So the answer of that, the member falling in any of these criteria shall submit a declaration along with the documentary evidence at the time of renewal of their membership on annual basis or anytime at the time of claimant of exemption. Means during the year, every year we have to pay our membership fees, every year we have to renew our membership. So at the time of the renewal of our membership, that time you have to submit a declaration about your exemption along with the document proof why you are exempted from the same. So If you will submit like this, then it will be considered and it will grant you the exemption from the mandatory credit hours. So today we have cleared the point. Many professionals have asked this question about the exemption of the credit hours. So that's why we have discussed this topic in our YouTube videos. If anyone have any question or any point relating to this, you can drop a comment or the message in the chat box. Further, if you, your friend or your colleague, anyone is looking for any CS job or any CS training, then we are running a portal on our YouTube and the LinkedIn in the name of CS jobs. 2 groups we are running. We are updating the vacancies on those group on the regular basis. So if anyone is looking for the job, please go through that group, please join that group. The link of the group I will also mention in the bio.